Welcome to Master Your Roles, the podcast, featuring your host, Scott Snow. This show will teach you the time management skills you need to be joyful, productive, and fulfilled in all areas of your life. Welcome. Today's episode is titled Goal Setting for Doers, Not Talkers. Now, of course, goal setting is a huge issue. It's kind of exhausting. And I think usually when you do searches for goal setting, the first thing that comes up is the SMART goals. And a SMART goal is acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. But I always thought that SMART goals are crap. I think they're lame. I think they're very corporatized and they're very safe. And I like to think big because that's what gives you the momentum. More and more, I just think more the importance of having that vision and having the big picture right. And then everything else just falls into place. I was coaching a client recently, and we were talking a lot about that all this, how do I manage my emails? How do I manage all these phone calls and my assignments? That's all baloney, I think. That comes with the job. The bigger issue is once you have that purpose, now all that little stuff is like penny ante crap. It shouldn't be your full focus. Your focus should be the real outcome. So, the more you have of that vision and the more excitement you have on it, the less all the other stuff that is the building block stuff matters. I think about all the stuff you put up with your kids, So, I believe goals should be written down because that gives you the clarity. And there's been a lot of research that has shown that writing out your goals really puts you ahead, give you a lot more of a chance. In fact, Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the Dominican University in California, recently studied the art and science of goal setting, and she said 42% more likely to achieve your goals and dreams simply by writing them down on a regular basis. I think of Grant Cardone, with his great book, The 10X Rule, and he's the master of thinking big. But you've got to think big. Are you going to be motivated to say, I want to, have a 10% increase in income with my division? No. You want to think of the big picture. Jim Rohn, the great self-development guru, said, decide what you want, then write it down. Now, I think it's important just to have enough goals, not too many. You don't want to go crazy. Think lean when creating your goals. There are 4 types of goals: deadline, bucket list, sky's the limit, and a number 1 goal. So the deadline goal, of course, has the deadline. It has a specific goal and an outcome with a deadline goal is a specific goal or outcome with a deadline. And it's really a snapshot in time. An example, by June 1st, I weigh X pounds. By May 15th, I have completed X project. By December 31st, I have X money in my retirement account. A bucket list goal, what you would think, bring the family to the Super Bowl, ride in a gondola in Venice. I want to start a weekly cult movie club and have a popcorn machine and have friends over and we vote as a committee which bad movies to watch. Attend the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Sky's the limit, or as I revisit my buddy Jim Collins, he talked about them as being BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. This is, you can have fun and use your imagination, think big. This is really a bucket list on steroids. And just when you think you've created a big goal, 10x it, 100x it, have fun with it. Here are some examples of sky's the limit goals. I rode in the presidential motorcade and flew on Air Force One. I introduced Saturday Night Live by yelling, and live from New York, it's Saturday night. I'm a New York Times best-selling author. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm the UFC Women's Welterweight Champion of the World. My net worth is $325 million. I won the Nobel Peace Prize. And here is your number one goal. This is really the big kahuna of goals. It's your number one goal, and it should activate and unify all of your other goals. If you were to think of one goal, what would it be? And you have to think deeply and decide which one goal is the most important goal in your life, the one that electrifies all of the other goals. Example, I'm a visionary. I'm a professional speaker giving 100 paid speeches per year. I'm a world-class problem solver. So, you also want to define what a habit is, because of course habits is what is going to make you achieve those goals. You can't just have, by June 1st I'm going to weigh 170 pounds. You have to put that in action every day. So habit is what's going to get you there. I'm reading 2 excellent books on habits right now that are just outstandingly good. The Charles Duhigg book about the power of habit, which defines what a habit is, what are the elements of it. And once you define the elements of it, then you can change it. And also Atomic Habits by James Clear, which I think really ties into my process of mastering your roles and identifying all the hats you wear, because he talks a lot about identity related to roles. Related to habits. And if you have an identity, that's going to be a lot easier for you to get in that habit. For example, if you're a non-smoker compared to someone who smokes but's trying to quit, and someone offers you a cigarette, the person who is trying to quit will say, well, no thanks, no, I don't want it now. Whereas the non-smoker will just say, no, I don't smoke. I'm a non-smoker. So it's not even an issue of, trying to figure out if you want to do it or not. All right. So here's an example of a habit. And usually the habits will be a daily habit. Exercise aerobically for 30 minutes daily. Meditate for 20 minutes twice per day. So here's an example of, you have a goal of being a visionary. Maybe that's your number one goal. And here are some daily habits that support it. Practice transcendental meditation for 20 minutes twice per day. Listen to or read my mission statement. Read for 60 minutes. Participate in a conference call with my mastermind group every Wednesday. Here are some deadline goals to support that number one goal of being a visionary. By November 30th, I give a presentation at the National Convention. A bucket list goal, I'm a New York Times best-selling author. I'm on the board for XYZ company. I'm a mentor for others. Sky's the limit goal related to being a visionary. 1.3 billion people escaped poverty because of a simple, innovative idea by my company. And 8 out of 10 representatives at the G20 summit use my productivity system and products. So that's just a little overview of how I look at goal setting. I'd love to hear about some of your goals and your process. There are resources at my website, masteryourroles.com, where we offer seminars, workshops, individual and group coaching on the subjects of work-life balance, leadership development, and time management. So contact us and let us know what you think of the podcast. We'd love to have some 5-star ratings and some reviews so that we can get more and more people onto this podcast. Thanks again.